Hello, all. This is Jerry. Welcome to my Rumble channel, uh, Re- Reassurance Life Coaching. And when I left off on my first video, I had intentions of continuing the my my writings, and I'm going to divert from that only because I sort of once you say something, especially in this type of forum, you can't take it back. So I just need to figure out exactly how it is that I want to approach that. So I just got to make sure that I get it right the first time. So what I am going to do is there's something else that I wrote, and it's called the day before Thanksgiving. And it's this I wrote this at a time when I was just at uh, one of my worst points of what was going on in my swirling around my head, and just these crazy thoughts, and like the people, things, memories, and it's hard to explain. And again, I think, like I said on my last video, um, there could be everybody could be going through this stuff. I doubt it, but maybe I'm the only one. I doubt that. A few people, I have no idea. So if this is stuff that you can relate to, hopefully it'll make a lot of sense. And if it's not something you can relate to, then maybe you can sort of get other people to open up. And I think that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do. Uh, just open up, be truthful, and sort of um, be unafraid just to tell what I fear telling because of judgment. I mean, that was the point of my last video was the fear of judgment. So anyway, so the day before Thanksgiving, and this has to do with meditating. So my therapist suggested I tried meditating. I want to quiet the voices in my head. I felt I had no control over my thoughts. I wrote down my first experience. It was something I was not putting much faith in. How could I meditate if I can't even relax? And how can I relax if I can't meditate? So here's what I wrote on my journal. 11/24/22, Thanksgiving Day. Yesterday I tried meditating for a few minutes. I was very stressed and wanted to jump out of my skin. I felt powerless against what was gripping my emotions. Like a lead ball replaced my beating heart. That morning I decided to read a book my therapist suggested. I've had read it twice before. The first time it took me a week, the second 3 days. This time I read it cover to cover in 3 hours. Afterwards, I decided to meditate as the book suggested. I was concentrating on my breathing and heartbeat. I felt some of the stress begin to leave my body. The lead ball was transforming back to my heart as I could feel it beating in my chest. As thoughts entered my mind, I tried to dismiss them and continue meditating. Suddenly, all that was left was an empty space, like a cup. I watched as things and thoughts and people tried to squeeze into the cup. I was the only thing not trying to get in. I could only observe. The cup could be filled with anything. It was rubbery and stretched out. Everything that was trying to squeeze in was either running away from something or towards something. I couldn't tell. I just knew I couldn't go in. I still don't know why. I wish I knew. Suddenly, the 30-minute timer went off. I was very disappointed. Immediately, I tried to go back. I could not return. It doesn't matter. Life has been much better than it was on 11/23/22. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what that was, what I was experiencing, what was happening inside my head, but it was crazy. And I had absolutely no control over it. And this is the best way I could describe what was going on. It was um, just everything. I guess it would sort of be like water going down the drain. It's just everything that's in the water with it is just going down. And and at that point, maybe I was just dealing with it, and I had confronted it enough in therapy to be able to rid myself of it. And this was a big turning point for me, where things, um, the pressure wasn't there anymore, and I was able to be a little bit more productive. And one thing that ended up happening, and so that was Thanksgiving Day, what I mentioned at the end of it. So anyway, celebrated Thanksgiving with my son, and I at that point I wasn't doing anything. I was retired. I had responsibilities, and I just could not get myself out of the chair. And I had, and it was a long time that I didn't do anything, which is not good. So I was getting my car fixed, and the one of the mechanics over there had mentioned that he knew somebody that was doing DoorDash, and you can make a little bit of money. I never thought of doing DoorDash, so I said, I got to do something. So I tried it, and mind you, I could not get myself. The amount of stress I was feeling was tremendous. I mean, it was. I was like a piece of lead on the chair. I could not move. To be productive in the way that, for myself. I was still good at faking it. I was still good at, not having people convinced that I had it all together, but I didn't. So I signed up on the DoorDash, and I answered all the questions, and I got certified or whatever. And I can remember not knowing what I'm doing, nothing about it. It seemed simple enough, and I had gotten an order. It came across the app, and I picked it up at the store. I think it was a fast food place or something, and I delivered it. And each step I didn't know what to do, so I had to figure out each step. So I had to go through that process of learning each step because I hadn't done it before. So when I finally did it, all of a sudden, a thing popped up. It made a cha-ching sound, and I made $3. I made $3. That was more than what I had made in a while. And it was a big sense of relief because I just kind of did something. It was better than doing nothing. So that super $3, it was that little sense of accomplishment that I did it. And then I did another one. And then I did another one. And I kept doing them. It's a little bit counterproductive because, you're using your own car, your own gas. And, to make a lot of money, you got to do a lot of deliveries because, your profit margin is, low. So, but you can do okay with it. But it served its purpose for me for a couple of reasons, because it got me some extra money that I needed where I was able to meet my bills. And it gave me a big sense of accomplishment. So, and a lot of us need that. So I don't know if people don't have issues with that sort of thing, and they can look at somebody and say, why don't they just do it? Why don't they just, not eat that cookie? Or why don't they just, get up and, it's a stressful thing. So, what worked for me was just that $3, man, it just made all the difference in the world. And I just ran with it. And that was, I finally felt like I was able to take a step sort of into the out of my comfort zone, which was a cage for all intents and purposes. But I was able to do something that was uncomfortable. And, it just worked from there. And it was quite a good feeling. So, but as far as the meditating goes, that what I just described, I never felt that again, and I do continue to meditate, and it's weird because I don't know if what's actually going on, because I set my timer for 30 minutes, and I lean back in my chair, and I start out by taking steady breaths, I guess, in through the mouth, out through the nose, that sort of thing. And the last time I meditated, I tried something differently. And I think sometimes in order to move forward, to feel like we're accomplishing something, we have to do something that's really uncomfortable first. Something that we really don't want to do. I've heard it said that the thing that you most want to find is the place you're least likely to look. Or so when I was meditating, it was it's a this is going to sound stupid, but it's a meditative state where you're awake, you're aware of things, but when you just find your center and maybe concentrate on your heartbeat, or what I do sometimes is I'll concentrate on an itch. Like we all get, the skin, you get an itch. And then when you get an itch, do what you don't want to do and don't scratch it. That may sound stupid, but there's value in that. And, when I'm meditating and I feel an itch, I feel it, I acknowledge it, and then I ignore it. And I would do the same thing, like, let's say, with my breathing and my heartbeat. Obviously, I'm aware of it. I'm aware I'm breathing. So what I tried last time, and this really, really worked for me, is I lowered my breathing to the point where I would inhale. I mean, a tiny bit. Cuckoo clock again. I'm going to talk through it this time. And it's 12 o'clock, so. But I would breathe in, I mean, a tiny bit. And then when I breathe out again, I would force all the air out as much as I can. And then I would breathe in just a tiny bit again. And then push it all out again. And when I was doing that, it kind of diverted my attention from my heartbeat. So it was the itching. I hope this is all making sense. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. It worked for me. I hope it works for other people. But this isn't what I want to do. I want to keep this stuff simple. And I've been reading a lot, and I've been really, really, trying to stay focused. And this is what I'm coming up with. So I really, really hope it's resonating. So, I would breathe in the least amount. I mean, just a little tiny bit, and then breathe all that out again. And it kind of, you want to grab that strong breath. It's like, you feel, that you're not getting the air, so you want to, but I don't. And I just continue, and it sort of brings me to just another level of consciousness where I don't even feel myself in a chair anymore, and I just kind of drift off. And I know I'm not sleeping, that's for sure, because I can still concentrate on my breathing, that technique. And so it really made a big difference for me. And so I hope that helped. And one other thing I want to mention is in my first and last video that I did, I had talked about a lot of stuff that was going on in my head, and for years and years and years, I just kept that all inside. And I was just talking to a friend of mine that I worked with years ago, and we were all friends. We had fun. We all went out to dinner together, and talked about the good times that we had and everything. And I kind of mentioned, I was talking about what I'm doing with the Reassurance, and I'm doing with this thing on Rumble. And she said, I had no idea you were going through all that. And she had one question: why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell anybody? And the things I told her, what the things I was doing, I don't want to get into that yet, but I was good at faking it, and she was legitimately mad at me for not even just talking about it. And now I look at it and I say, why didn't I? That was so stupid. I had all these people around me, a lot of people around me, that I did not give them the opportunity to help me. And I took that from them, because I know that what I'm trying to do here is what all the people around me would have done for me. But it's the state of mind I was in, and it's what I was going through, and I know the reasons for it now, and I want to get into all that, and I will get into all that, but I just have to be really careful. It's not for me. It's I don't know what it is, but maybe I'm just not ready yet. But I mean, one thing, I guess, what I am going to say is, I guess, the point is, like I said, I got to be brave. So I'm going to be a little bit brave now. When I was young, probably, well, I told this one thing I did talk about, and it was probably around, I was 13, 14 years old, and I had an Uncle George, and everybody loved Uncle George. He was like everybody's favorite uncle, and he always liked to get massages, and apparently I was good at giving back massages, so I'd give him back massages. And I remember one day, he was in my brother's bedroom, which was next to my bedroom, and he had me come in there, and he had me rub his back. So he's laying face down in the bed, and I'm rubbing his back, which I had done before. I'd done it for a lot of people. And then he turned over, and he asked me to rub his legs, his thighs. So I'm like, all right. I was, 13, 14 years old. What do I know? And he's in his underwear, and then he starts telling me to rub his groin, inside his groin. So I did it. I was rubbing inside his groin, and I mean, he was wearing his underwear, so I can tell he liked it. I knew that much, but at that particular time, it didn't go any further than that. And I remember I went back in my bedroom, and I just laid down and I don't remember what I really thought about it, but whatever. So after that happened, not long after, um, maybe a year after, I don't remember exactly, but he had found a dirty magazine, a porno magazine that I had, and in my room, or where, I don't remember where it was. Anyway, he found it, and he approached me with it. We were in the basement, and he asked me about it, and he starts flipping through the pages in front of me. Now I'm just a young teenager. All I'm thinking is, man, I'm in big trouble. That's it. That's all I was thinking. So he starts asking me, what do you do with this? And, what do you have it for? And, have you ever touched yourself? And again, me being a young kid thinking I'm in trouble, I just, it's hard to imagine even now what, as a young teenager like that, what was going through my head. But I know now that I was being manipulated, but I didn't realize it then. So then he had pointed to one of the pictures in there, and it's tremendous. I mean, you can imagine this guy, huge. And he points to it, and he asked me what I thought about that. And, and he ended up showing me his, and he got me to touch it. And then he touched me, and he, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I liked it. It felt good, and it probably happened a few times, more than I like to admit. And I'm not gonna say it was a regular thing, but it's, I don't know. It happened a few times, and it was just, it was more than just playful, and I'll leave it at that. And then afterwards, I mean, nothing else happened, and I never brought it up again. I never mentioned it again. So as far as he was concerned, I guess he probably thought I forgot about it because he never brought it up. And like I said, everybody loved Uncle George. He was the greatest. He used to come up every Christmas from Florida, and, he would stay till New Year's, Christmas and New Year's, and, the fun uncle. So I went right along with it, and, who was I to ruin everybody's good time? So I never said anything. But it was apparently having an effect on me. So the first person I talked about it with was a priest. And this is the first time the priest would be the only person who knew about this besides me, and I referred to him as the scumbag. So me and I don't like saying his name. So me and him. And so at least I told somebody about it. So there was some relief in that. And then at this time, my nieces and nephews were being born. They were young kids, and I'll be damned if he was going to do this to one of them. So that's when I started talking about it. And it was actually before that, when I was in Florida. Oh, and by the way, I had said to my priest, I said, I don't know what to do. Should I tell my parents? Should I tell anybody? And his advice was to me, no, don't do anything. Why would you want to put that kind of stress on everybody as long as you dealt with it? Which, in retrospect, I thought that was really, really bad advice. Because now I got to deal with it. I got to talk about it. But now that was it. So I climbed over one wall and I ran face first into another one. So at that point, that's when, my nieces and nephews were getting older, and my behavior was messed up. I was self-sabotaging, and I couldn't settle down. My behavior was erratic, and I would be moving out of apartments. I was getting into car accidents. I was living in my van. Yeah, I was living in my van, and it was just I couldn't function at all. I'm quitting jobs like crazy. I'd get a job and then I'd quit, and it was crazy. So I was down in my parents, living in my parents' condo, and they're looking at me going, "What the hell's going on with you?" And that's when I said it. I said, I'm just going to say it. I was told I wasn't supposed to, but I'm going to say it anyway. I said, Uncle George molested me when I was a young teenager. And it was just my parents. And, I don't remember so much what my mother said, but I do remember this is where I got to be careful because my father passed away. This October will be 10 years ago. So, but all he did was go inside his den and he looked at a blank television screen and said nothing to me. He never said anything to me. So I finally got it out. The truth is out. And no, nobody called him on it. Isn't that nice? Two of my nephews wanted to strap on weapons and go down to Florida and take care of business, and I wouldn't let them. But that was something that I spent years and years and years trying to deal with. And the way I dealt with it, I mean, sometimes I think maybe I would have rather had turned to drugs. So that might have been easier. But I will get into that, how I dealt with it, and the stuff that I did, because I didn't know who I was. I had no idea who I was. And I look at me now talking about this to whoever's listening, and it amazes me that I'm doing this, because when I was talking about this in therapy, it took me a very, very long time to talk about this, what was going on, the stuff that I was doing. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this therapist, I don't know how long she's been in practice, but she's not going to hear worse than this. How am I going to even bring this up? But I did, and I talked about it. And she showed nothing but compassion and empathy, and it floored me. I couldn't believe it. She didn't judge me. She passed no judgment. And then I got a little bit of brave, and I told my brother, guess what? You didn't pass judgment either. Didn't even bring it up. I might as well have told him I ate toast for breakfast this morning. And to think that I could have done that years ago, and this is what my friend who I talked to yesterday, man, if she could have climbed to that phone and smacked me in the side of the head, she would have, because she was mad that I didn't, she was pissed that I never said anything. And like I said, I was really, really, really good at faking it. And I got to be an expert at that. But it was a disastrous. So, and I will talk about it because I need to. And what the purpose of this is for me is I want to create a space for people to feel what I feel, and not so much the feeling of talking, letting it out and dealing with it and talking about it. It's the reaction, because this is just for me, but the anticipated reaction of thinking that this is going to have catastrophic results. It's going to be a bomb. When I talk about this stuff that I kept inside my own damn head for all these friggin' years. And it's amazing that I was able to manage it enough, just enough to be able to sit here today. Because I went just enough not insane to stop from doing something really stupid to myself. I did just enough. I was just not insane enough to not do something stupid. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it does. It does to me anyway. But yeah. So I want to, create a space where people can, talk about whatever it is and, get it, rid themselves of it. And then really the ultimate vision is to get people to do what I'm doing now, to come underneath this umbrella and just become a place where people can just no judgment. Just know, no matter what it is they're going through, you have a place where it's, going to be confidential, talk about it. And it's such a powerful thing. Just talk about it. And the other thing I like to say is, I am not a trained anything. I mentioned this last time. I'm going to mention this in every single video, is that I am not here to deal with anybody's anything that's, depression or, any mental, medical condition. That's not why I'm here. I can't be that. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, nothing. I'm not a counselor even. I'm just a guy who's been through a lot of shit that, given anybody the opportunity to do what I did and to just talk about it. And so I'm 32 and a half minutes. So I did it again. And I think that's about it. I'm trying to find one of my business cards. But anyway, it's Reassurance lifecoaching.com. It is. Sorry. reassurancelifecoaching.com and P.O. Box 314, Endicott, New York 13761. And there's my phone number. And you can email me to reassurancelc22@gmail.com. And there's the phone number. And and another thing that I'm really thinking about, and what's the vision is to have people, you can write to me, send me a video or send me something to my P.O. box, and I can share things. If you want to do it anonymously, that's great. If you want to make your own video, we can do that. And just to be able to talk about it, because I think talking about it does two things. It lets us deal with it. It helps me to deal with it, just to get rid of it, and then also encourage other people to do the same thing. I think we could solve a lot of problems doing that. It's just getting things out in the open a little bit more. Anyway, all right, I am gonna end it there. And again, please, if you're going through anything, just get help. And sometimes it still amazes me that I didn't do anything tragic with my life, and I'm glad I didn't, because I'm here now. And just please get help, please. And there's opportunities available to get help, and just find a best friend, find a stranger. Hey, you never know. Just strike up a conversation with somebody, and sometimes that happens. I do it all the time now, so it works. Anyway, all right. Again, I don't want to get boring. Maybe I'm getting boring. So thank you very much, and God bless, and I hope this helps. And I look forward to the next one. I hope you do too. Thank you so much. Bye.